Got it.
All right. Well, welcome to Filthy Quads. We have our first guest, Brandon Allen.
Yeah,
Thank you for having
buddy.
me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So for the people that have been under a rock for the last 10 years, tell them who you are.
Yeah, if you've been under the rock for the last 4 years, you probably have no idea who I am. But the last 10, absolutely. I'm power lifter, super heavyweight. When I was used to be competitive, I believe I was the third American to squat 1,000 pounds raw. Got a 24-30 raw total. I took third place at Big Dogs 3. And other than that, I've won every competition I've ever done, including Kern 2018. I'm pretty notorious for dropping deadlift, 887 deadlift after locking it out at Kern, and then losing the Wilks in the overall to Yuri Belkin. Yeah, and it cost me $30,000. So that was yeah, that's I guess that's what a lot of people remember. 2019, getting ready for Kern 2019, I tore my quad tendon off the bone, which put a hindrance in my training, obviously, and had to have surgery. 4 months after surgery, got in a Harley accident, got T-boned at 50 miles an hour, broke my pelvis, crushed 5 vertebrae in my spine, tore every ligament in my left socket, cracked my left elbow. It was a rough year, to say the least. 2019 sucked. And then I got into arm wrestling around that time because I kind of it took me a while to really accept that I was done powerlifting. Like, I still thought like I would come back and be fine, but every time I would start getting strong, my hip or my back, something would just fuck up. And I remember I was prepping, I was going to do a meet in the end of 20, no, the beginning of 2020, excuse me. I was going to do a meet, and I squatted 685 for 3 sets of 3, which felt great. The next week I had like 635 for an AMRAP or something. And on like the eighth rep, my hip like made an audible pop. Like, I heard a pop, and I was like so sure I just tore my hip. Had an MRI, nothing was torn. Basically, all I had was severe bursitis and tendonitis, just from the years of pounding the weights. So I was like, all right, I guess I need to take a year. Like, doctor told me, he's like, you need to take a year off squatting. Like, I'm like, what do you mean a year? And he's like, no squats for 1 year, nothing. I'm like, whoa. Mind you, that was my lift. You know what I mean? I love squatting. It was the best lift. So I was that sucked. And then arm wrestling really started to spike my interest at this time. Was already kind of training with it a little bit with the guys and the team out here in Vegas. They're training at my gym at the time. And Eric Spoto got me into it, type of thing. And seeing Eric having trouble with guys that were 1/8 the size. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? There's something to this. So I was intrigued, and I just dove all in, and I started training hard for powerlifting. Um, I think it was the beginning of 2021. Yeah, it was 2021. Oh no, okay. I forgot we're in 2023 now. So yeah, it was 2021 in the beginning, where Dave Depew called me out for a super match. I was super nervous. I had no idea what to do. I never had a ready go, never done a tournament, nothing at all. So I went down to San Diego, and I pulled Dave, who's been pulling for 15, 20 years. And I beat him 3-0. Immediately after that, Larry Wheels reached out to me, and with us both having a similar background of powerlifting and then going into arm wrestling, he challenged me to a match in Dubai at King of the Table 2, which I gladly accepted. So me and my wife flew out to Dubai. That was quite the experience. It's really weird when you go into a different country, especially a Muslim country. It's much, much different than anything that we're used to in Costa Rica. But again, I mean, it wasn't a bad experience or anything. It was just different. The flight sucked. That was for 22 hours to get there and 32 hours to get home.
Jesus.
Like that. Yeah, it was a nightmare, dude. So, but again, I was out there. I was, at this time, I bulked up because I'd already like come to grips. I'm not going to be as massive powerlifter anymore. So I slimmed down to 300 pounds, which, believe it or not, compared to me being at 370 at my largest. So I felt great at 300. And then I got challenged at match with Larry. At this time, I was just on a therapeutic testosterone dose. But I got challenged to match with Larry. I got on a cycle. I bulked up to 320. Went out there to buy 4-2. It was a pretty surreal moment. Pretty, really made a big splash in the arm wrestling world from that. And then, I get home from there, and there's a couple matches that were offered to me, none that made sense. And then there was one that I really wanted versus Ryan Bowen. It ended up falling through, not happening. And then, so at this time, my wife and I had to have a serious talk about fertility and things like that. I had to have a kid. We needed to do it soon. My wife's a little older than me, so it's not like we have much time. And, so basically, I decided to come completely off everything, off the testosterone, and take the fertility drugs to gain motility in my semen. Because when I first did a semen sample, completely shut down. 10 years. I was telling you, Kareem, before we came on, I was on testosterone for 10 years. There was the longest I came off was for 8 weeks, after a meet when I was on a heavy cycle. And I'd come off for 8 weeks, recycle, let my body reboot, and then I would get right back on test. And running 500 milligrams,
God damn.
So it wasn't a healthy choice or anything like that. And so being on that therapeutic tier dose, 125 milligrams a day, was pretty awesome. They're not going to stop moving.
It's all good.
My fucker just barked too, so it's all right.
Charger. So the therapeutic TRT dose, 125 milligrams, it was amazing on how good I felt doing that. I didn't think that that would ever feel good, but I was still benching almost 500 pounds. Everything was good. I was super strong on the table. My body weight was dropping down by design. I was basically cutting calories, eating in a caloric deficit. I've been on the vertical diet for 3.5 years now. I'll never go back to anything else. It's just the greatest I've ever felt in my life. So I got down to 275, and that's when I ditched the CPAP, and sleep started becoming something I looked forward to. Before, I would dread the nights because I never slept, being big, swollen, big throat, big neck. Sleep apnea was awful. I mean, you guys remember I had daytime apnea. I would be and snoring, falling asleep, standing up, type of shit. That's how bad of shape I was in. I was stronger than fuck though.
Strong as fuck.
Yeah, that was the goal. So after getting 275, there's no arm wrestling division at 275 yet. I believe as the sport grows, there will be a 275 division, but just currently there really isn't. There's a couple meets that are happening now. Dave Depew actually is hoping to meet 275. He's had a few. So there's a couple guys doing it now, but there in the international stage, there's nothing. In fact, the weight is either 105 kilograms, so 235, or 242, or 220. Those are the three heaviest weight classes in arm wrestling currently that are internationally recognized. So
wow.
Is there super after 242?
My super match is at 232.
No, super heavyweight after 242. Is there a 242 plus, or if you're just fucking fat, you're fucked?
Stop now. So it goes 242 plus, so 243.
Okay.
So again, being 275 at this time didn't make sense because not being on gear, being light, and then having to pull guys like Derek Smith who are 6'8", 375 pounds. I'm this doesn't make sense. The gap is just too big. In arm wrestling, it's a big deal, especially a longer lever, all these kind of things make play factors. So I made the decision to get down. I was all right, I'm going to get down to the 242s, and my goal was to get to 215 when I would get to 242, which that was my plan going into the LA Fit Expo. And then I see the roster, the flyer for the LA Fit Expo, and it's 232, not 242 for this event. I'm oh, that's the thing about arm wrestling. There's no set weight classes really. It's kind of whatever
up in the air
to do, whether you want to have 3 classes, 5 classes, 6, 7, 8. So it all just depends,
That would piss me off.
Yeah, right. So I'm 232. I don't know if that's even possible, but I, this 4 or 5 weeks now have been, very, very low to little carbs. Slowly getting my weight down. I'm waking up at 237 pounds with water loading. So
yep.
I'm drinking, Chris helped me out with the water loading program, and then talking to Dallas Langston as well, and then just stuff that I kind of already knew. I did 3 gallons on Sunday, 3 gallons on Monday. I was gonna do 3 gallons yesterday, but I couldn't. I felt sick. I felt
No, it's fucking terrible, bro.
I literally was gonna puke if I drank any more water. Like I couldn't. There's no way. So I dropped it down to 2 gallons yesterday.
That's fine.
Today was a gallon and a half, almost 2 gallons. I'm not done. So. And then tomorrow will be very little water until I feel
or something
that I'll be close to my weight, because I want to be able to eat still and not, you know what I mean? So I don't want to cut calories. I'm already eating in such a caloric deficit. There's really no without just deteriorating muscle.
I fucking don't miss cutting, man.
Yeah, it's brutal. I know my buddy came over earlier. He's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, seem out of it. I'm like, dude, I haven't had carbs, bro. I am out of it. So, again, though, we drive down tomorrow, weigh in Friday morning, and then after I weigh in, make 232, which I have no doubt I'll make 230. I'll be honest, if there's a 220 class, I'm pretty confident I'd be able to make the 220 with how
we could do 220.
Yeah, I don't think that would be difficult. And there are 220 division matches, so maybe in the future now I know like I could do that if I get offered to someone that's legit in the 220 division.
You're jacked enough you could do it. Like fat guys, it's harder, but when muscle holds more water. Right. 20-pound cut for you would not be. It sucks, but it wouldn't be that fucking bad. Yeah,
especially with hot baths and things like that. I don't even. There's a jacuzzi at the hotel we're going to. I don't even think I'm gonna need to be in it, to be honest. So, and I'm not thinking so. You don't want to dehydrate yourself more than you need to. So
no.
232. Once I hit 230, I'll start drinking. Sipping water, monitoring my weight, make weight the next morning, and then I grew up in LA, so I got all my food spots mapped out. We were going right to Redondo Beach to eat at Joe's on Pacific Coast Highway. It's the best breakfast joint you'll ever have in your entire life.
So depending on how much, I don't think you'll be that dehydrated. I don't actually think you will be at all. You're mostly water loading. But when if you ever decide to do 220, this is I'm going to give you guys all some fucking knowledge right now. When you cut weight, do not eat. Everybody wants to eat as soon as you step off the scale. You need to piss before you eat. Otherwise, you're just gonna have a lump of food fucking sitting in your stomach.
Piss before you eat? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, you need to hydrate enough so you have a good piss before you start eating. As hungry as everybody is when you cut weight, you shouldn't be right now because, like I said, you're not going to dehydrate, but because you need water, as you know, to fucking digest your food and shit. Yeah. You need to be hydrated.
Yeah,
but for this one, you're not going to have an issue. You're so close. You're 5 pounds. As it is.
Again, waking up at 5 pounds with water loading. So once
you should piss it out by you shouldn't have to do it. You should be able to piss everything out by then.
Yeah, exactly. So tomorrow the drive to LA is going to suck though with all this water drinking because I'm going to be pulling over every 20 minutes to pee on the side of the road. But
at least you can pee on the side of the road easily.
You could too.
I mean, but I risk like peeing on my shoes and shit.
Hey, listen, she can't. People pay for her OnlyFans for that. All right, they can't get it for free on the side of the road.
I think we all pee on the side of the road. That's kind of a given. The splash. But yeah, so again, eat at Joe's will be our breakfast joint. I'm getting I already know exactly what I'm ordering. Going special. And then my wife has never been to Redondo Beach Pier. Neither has my buddy his family, who we're going to be with when we're out there. So after we eat, we're going to go to Redondo Beach Pier, walk the pier, let the food digest, maybe grab hot dog on a pier. That's delicious. And I'm eating so hard. On our way in Torrance, where I grew up in Lomita, right next to Torrance. There's this place called Mongol King, which is a Mongolian barbecue on PCH and Anza. It is the greatest Mongolian barbecue ever. Mongolian barbecues all over the country. Nothing touches this one. It's the best. And it's like the same owners from when I was 10 years old. So like it's pretty cool.
Are we going back to the Brandon Allen's nudes for this one?
That's what started the nudes, right?
There we go.
It's like $13 for all you can eat, dude. Like it's
that's where we're going, Karina.
Bulking, I would go there all the time and put down, like, I'm not kidding, like 4 or 5 plates when I was young. I don't know that I have the stomach capacity to do that now. I think
Probably not anymore.
full plates I'll be able to do. And then we'll start headed back to the Rancho Cucamonga area, Ontario area. And I have to have pickup sticks when I'm in Cali. There's no pickup sticks in Las Vegas. Pickup sticks is like my favorite Chinese there is.
All right.
And anyone that has ever had a cheat meal with me knows Chinese is my favorite. Chinese or a smoked barbecue. So yeah, we're going to hit pickup sticks. Let that digest, and then before bed, we'll probably eat one more meal. I don't know where. Well, maybe in Megan Mike's house or something like that. We'll do it. And then Friday or Saturday morning, head down to LA Convention Center and do my thing. I got a super match versus this guy named Paul Stevens. He's a super cool dude out there in San Diego. Karina, you might know him.
I have heard of him.
Yeah, you would recognize him. He used to date the Jew.
Oh, oh, Stephanie. Okay.
Yeah. So that was that's Paul, and he's ranked number 6 in 232 in California. So
sure, okay.
I was supposed to be having a match with this guy named Dallas Langston. Dallas Langston's like a super competitive 198er. He also competes at 220, but he told me if he wanted a match, he's a really well respected arm wrestler. He's traveled the world doing these events. So we were talking about doing a match, and he said he'll bulk up to 230, no problem, for my match with me. So that was our plan. And then he injured his shoulder. So yeah, just maybe a week ago, I think it was, maybe 2. I was messaging my buddy in Cali, and I was like, damn, dude, I was like, Dallas is hurt. I was like, anyone else I can fill in? Obviously, we needed someone that's going to be there, right? So California guys obviously makes the most sense.
Yeah.
My buddy Christian was like, what about Paul Stevens? I was like, is he 232? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, yeah, and ask him if he's down. So he asked Paul. Paul said, yeah, he's down. So we told the meet director, hey, we'll have a super match. And they said, yeah, let's do it. So that's how that happened. So I'm pulling Paul Stevens. It'll be best out of 5, right-handed. Okay. I don't know. I think I'm favored. I think I'm favored to win. We'll see though, because I've cut a significant amount of weight and lost a significant amount of weight. So my performance is going to be based off how well I'm able to refeed the next day.
Rebound, yeah.
Yeah. So again, I plan on coming in like high 250s. So we'll see on what the scale looks like, especially with drinking and everything like that. Water stuff. I'll be heavy.
Yeah. We'll be there. We're
after the super match, then in the tournament, and that'll be interesting because there's a lot of killers out there in Cali who I know want to get their hands on the guy that beat Larry Wheels. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's gonna be it's gonna be cool. Hopefully, me and Paul have a quick match, either whether I win or lose, and we don't bleed each other out too heavily, so that we have something left for the tournament. But hey, that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? When you accept a super match before a tournament, you're putting yourself at risk of more tired more than you should.
Yeah.
But I'm not planning on winning the tournament. I would love to place top 3. It'd be awesome. But again, there could be a bunch of killers that show up at 232, and who knows? Or no one will show up and I'll win. Just moved back to LA. And Larry Wheels will be there at the LA Fit Expo. But he's 255 right now, so he'll be competing as super heavyweight. So we won't to pull each other in the tournament. I told him, I was like, let's have a natty match, bro, because he's off gear right now. So he's on TRT, but I was like, let's have a natty match, bro. So we'll see if that happens. I interviewed his manager last night, Adam Silver, and apparently they're going to be out here in Vegas. So we might get a chance to get on the table together and see where we're at. That we both lost a significant amount of weight, significant amount of strength.
Yeah.
And I'm completely natural, and Larry being on TRT, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm not ready for this fucking drive though. I fucking hate driving that way.
When are you leaving, Chris?
I'm leaving Friday night. I still got to teach class. I just did 2 fucking weeks in shitty ass Florida, so I took 2 weeks off of training and teaching at the gym, so I can't, the first week back, tell them like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm gonna be out Friday as well.
Right.
So I'll teach Friday, and I'm gonna hit the road at probably like fucking 7:30.
You're fucking lucky you got home when you did, and you didn't deal with that bullshit today. FAA shut down all flights.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh shit!
They got them back up and running, but everything was fucking delayed.
Trash.
No, my shit wasn't delayed at all. I mean, my fucking flight was 10 hours back here because it was from Pensacola to Orlando. I had like a 3.5 hour layover in Orlando, and then fucking 5 hour flight here.
Yeah, that's a fucking hike. That's a fucking
That
hike.
sucked. That was and of course my fucking sales rep bought me Spirit. Imagine
It's
that.
Spirit
I'm sitting next to two big dudes too on the window. I'm like, bro, are you fucking like, I'm little right now too, but I'm like, dude, I'm still like, I'm not small. This fucking sucks, man.
We flew Spirit to San Diego first class, which was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, we had front seats, and it was like $100 more per seat or something like that. We're like, oh, for sure, let's do it.
Fucking do it.
I don't remember. What did we fly to San Diego for?
That grip training or that grip contest.
Competition. That's right. When I competed in a grip competition. Dave Depue's gym.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I won my class at
Me and Dan were
275,
there.
which is funny because I have like the weakest grip ever out for a strong guy. Just always notorious for a weak grip. And I really, was focusing real hard training. I hired a coach, Jed Johnson. You have to hire a coach, even when you know how to do it. It's just someone holding you accountable is everything. And then when you're paying money, it makes you're financially responsible, like or financially obligated as well.
Yeah.
So that's like in grip training is some of the most boring training you can ever do. You don't get a pump. Nothing looks cool after. It doesn't feel good. And it's very, very lightweight. Like you can't hang on to a huge weight.
That sounds like my fucking training right now.
Right.
Good morning, AMRAP.
Yeah, if
I
didn't have Jed to check into, there's no way I would have followed through. Like it sucked. And like 5 workouts a week, and I'm like, fuck, man, another one. Like my hands are exhausted. And then on top of doing my arm wrestling specific movements, pronation, supination, and on top of doing my powerlifting training. So I was training 3 times a day when I was at that point.
That's a lot of jerking off. I feel like that's what you're doing for powerlifting. You're just stroking.
Oh, absolutely. It's short and violent. But yeah, man, made some big changes in my life. I've lost so much weight and went from 370 pounds and now waking up at 237 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
I cut alcohol out back in August. I just quit smoking weed, which I've been smoking weed for 20 years. So that was a difficult one to do. Now I just smoke mini cigars and shit like that to kind of quench that, that edge or
that itch of wanting to puff.
Something. I used to love ripping a joint and things like that, especially after training. But the day before Christmas, I smoked my last bowl and I fucking gave away all my shit. I gave like an ounce of weed away, and my fucking $300 bong and all my pipes, everything, just gave everything away. Because I know I'm not mentally strong enough to have it in the house and not want to just, let me scrape some resin, do one little hit.
Right.
God damn.
Yeah, I got
wild.
Man, it was the best decision I could have made because it's made me really realize and put things in perspective. I'm 34 years old. I'm not in the spot financially that I was like in 2019 when I was, the top of the world powerlifting and things like that with coaching. I'm not hurting, but I'm not doing like I was, and I'm seeing it fade. I'm seeing it fade away. And smoking weed was making it okay for me to sit at home and kind of be bored, like working for 3 days and then 4 days really doing nothing and other than training and shit like that. But I was like, man, this is, I'm not in a financial spot to where it's okay to be smoking weed all day. Like I'm sure I will one day, but right now I'm just not there. So I'm looking to get back in the workforce. I don't know what I'm going to do. I used to just have a trucking company when I lived out in California. I was thinking about renewing my CDL and driving. There's a couple options, 2 things I'm trying to get into. Just did my resume the other day. First time I had a resume in 10 years, so
Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah.
As long as you keep coaching me and Chris, we support you.
Yeah, I don't fucking care about your other athletes, but
Oh, yeah, always do And I would be silly not to do the online.
Yeah.
And plus I enjoy it. I really do enjoy writing programs. Like I love coming up with a plan. I love testing theories. I love seeing how things work for different people and for other people. I just love doing it. It's fun, it's something I enjoy. So, and the in-person training I used to love, I don't love it anymore. I get too frustrated, you know what I mean? And like, especially if you have clients you've been working with for a long time and it's like the same bullshit every week. You're like, bro, I can't do this. I gained 6 pounds. I don't know why. Like, I know why, because you fucking stuffed your face all weekend. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's just getting frustrating.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy to have, again, like when you're self-employed, you don't know what your income is every month. It's a gamble. Like, something, and everything can change for you real dramatically, really quick. And so it's hard to plan for things, and it's hard to like finance things. And like, I want to buy a new truck, and it's tough to do things like that when you don't know how much money you're going to make next month.
Yeah.
Having like a base pay of something, like whether I get a job for the city, driving, whatever it is, water district is another option I'm applying for. That'll be cool, because then I'll know, okay, I know I'm getting 60 grand a year. Like this is, and so I can plan for this every month, knowing, and then all the extra money I make doing the online coaching, things like that, it will just be extra money, and we can put it down to the house, toys, payments, things like that. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get back in the workforce. And one of the things that I was worried about was, a piss test, because smoking long. I was like, I read it can take up to 60 days to get out of your system. I'm like, oh God. 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks. It was just the other day. So how long ago was Christmas? Not that long ago.
A little over a month.
Yeah.
A little over a month. Okay, so a little over a month after, I did a piss test the other day, and with all the weight I've lost, I have like no fat on my body and nothing storing, and it was completely clean. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get back into it. And
okay,
nice.
We'll see. Right. I really want to work for UPS. That would be the ultimate. They have like the best health benefits there are out there, and they make good money, really good money. So, and then you can stay local. I'll do LTL. I don't know. I don't want to renew my CDL for long haul. I don't want to drive trucks across, come home to my wife. And hopefully we have a baby soon, and I want to come home to him or her, right?
Hell yeah.
That's the coolest part, man. Coming home, like those fucking 2-week trips I take or so to work, man, that shit sucks. I'm on a week. A week's not terrible, but 2 weeks, fucking missing my kids, missing my lady for 2 fucking weeks, man, that shit sucks. I like coming home to my family every fucking day, man.
Been away from my wife longer than 3 days since we got married, like, or maybe even only 2. And it was only as of recently where I had to go to Montana for coaching a powerlifting meet.
Yeah,
and it was the only time I think that me and my wife didn't sleep under the same roof in 8 years.
How was your sleep? How was your sleep? Was it shit?
I was drinking at that time, so I just got.
I would sleep like dog shit for the first like 3 days when I'm gone. First 3 days or so.
I don't sleep well not home either.
Yeah.
Now that I've lost all this weight, that's like the biggest thing that's changed for me. My sleep is like I can sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. I hated sleeping. I hated the nighttime. Like I couldn't wait for the sun come up, you know what I mean, to start my day. And then I'd be tired all day, black underneath my eyes, falling asleep at the wheel because I wasn't ever getting sleep. It's no way to live, man. It's so unhealthy for you. And I always think back, like, man, what if I was actually getting sleep? How strong could I've actually gotten? Because you recover in your sleep. That's where you do the most recovery. And it's in REM sleep. When I first got my CPAP, I remember going to the place to do the sleep study. I remember they hooked all the machine up. I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to fall asleep. I blinked and opened my eyes, and it was 5.5 hours later, and they're shaking me to wake me up. Like, oh, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like and they're like, hey, it's over. You're done. I'm like, oh, there was something wrong? Like, no, it's been 5.5 hours. You're fine. I'm like, oh shit. The doctor said I hit REM faster than anyone he's ever seen hit REM in his entire life. Because I probably gone like 6 years without hitting REM sleep. I'm not exaggerating.
Fuck. Jesus fucking Christ. That sounds terrible.
I remember feeling like I was on ecstasy, like in the morning, like, whoa. Like I remember driving, like whistling. I'm like, damn, this is how normal people feel. This is fucking crazy.
That's how it fucking feels, man.
Holy shit.
I was
Fuck that.
shape in my sleep that for the first 2 weeks of having my CPAP, I peed the bed.
Holy fuck.
I would dream about peeing and I'd wake up to pee. And then like I was such a piece of shit. I would just like roll over and then like reach over to me. I'm like, oh no, don't touch it. It was
Jesus.
it was
Poor
quite the ride.
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny. She's a saint. She's a saint. She had to deal with you.
But do you regret any of it that you did? Hi.
So regret's kind of
Hi, Jenny.
I think I would have made better choices had I had the knowledge I have now. I would have had a kid earlier. And that's like the main thing I want in the world right now. So yeah, I don't know that I regret anything because I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have my amazing wife. I wouldn't have my house, my dogs, everything. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say regret.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I definitely would have done things differently if I could, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You think you would have pushed the gear a little safer if you had the same knowledge?
Yeah, in 2016 it was like the last time of me running really crazy cycles. I had a health scare at World or Nationals, I don't remember, in Vegas, and on my opening squat, I like blacked out and like coughed up blood, and like I didn't bite my tongue or anything, like it was blood from internally. And I remember like going to the back and I looked at my coach, Chad Wesley Smith, and he's like, dude, he's like, go upstairs and go to your room, go to bed. He's like, you're done. I'm like, what do you mean I'm done? He's like, you can't lift, man. He's like, you got to get your health in check. So that was weird. That was a weird one because that was when I was climbing the ranks. Now, like I was like one of the top dogs. I was competing against a big boy, and we had like a bet going on and stuff. And I did my opening squat and then just left. And everyone's like, what the fuck happened to Brandon? And I remember coming down later on in the meet and stuff and just like telling people like, dude, I coughed up blood. Like I had internal bleeding in my stomach. Like this is not good. I ended up being fine. I had blood work done right after. And like, I remember sending my blood work to Stan Efferding, and Stan Efferding calls me. He's like, hey Biggs, he's like, whose blood work is this? I'm like, no, there's no way this is your blood work. Like, I have sick genetics for handling abuse. And I've never ever gotten in bad shape in terms of like health wise, like on blood work. Like it's pretty weird. Like my liver enzymes were slightly elevated, and I was like blasting massive cycles. Like it was crazy. Like my kidneys were fine, everything was fine. My wife's like, "Don't tell him he's good. I need him to stop." Yeah, but I remember that. Like I remember that I went completely off gear for like I don't know 8 to 12 weeks, something like that, and then I started getting back into testosterone and things like that, doing another meet. But again, even when I squatted like 1,008, I was on not, I want to say minimal, but I wasn't on like a crazy aggressive cycle like I was in the past. You know, it was definitely a manageable cycle. At that time, I was done doing orals, which orals are the most toxic for you.
Yeah,
they really hurt you. I anyone that's going to do gear, I always just I'm not giving anyone medical advice. But anyone that is trying to do gear, I always just tell them stick with what like the steak and potatoes, man. Like
just as king,
and like that's really all you need. Like maybe DECA, because they actually even prescribe DECA as TRT to some people. You can get it prescribed from the doctor as TRT. All these SARMs and this new shit. Like I have so many like, oh, what SARMs, this and that. They're telling me shit. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
No one does.
Well, do this. I'm like, okay, what's supposed to do is, and what it is are two different things. Do you know what it is? And they don't. And there's no long-term studies on side effects or things like that. I'm worried that, in the next 5-10 years, you're going to see kids falling over and from, abusing SARMs the way that, we abuse PEDs. So, again, it just seems, it seems stupid. Are you eating my almonds and cranberries? You little shit.
He's cutting weight. Look how upset he is.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Do it.
I already did it.
Then flip it.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, we need to know.
giant wiener that was coming to my face.
We need to know why are you getting rid of your finger, hand, and neck tattoos?
Oh, just clean my look up for the workplace. You know what I mean? Church and things like that. I don't like looking like a degenerate. I already have a crazy mustache, right? Like so.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, I just decided like I'm gonna get them removed and at least lighten them up to where they're very hard to notice. Maybe later on in life when I'm financially established, I'll re-tattoo my hands and fingers. And again, I don't even agree with the message on my hands. Like it says self-made. Like I'm not self-made. Like I'm made up from a collective of my peers, my wife, my family. They've helped mold me to who I am today. And when I got these tattoos, I was really selfish and really like honestly, I looked at them more on like a side of like strength training, like you know what I mean. Like I'm self-made, like getting all this strength training and all those things, but people may interpret it as differently, which makes sense because that's how I would interpret it as I saw on someone else. And it's
Yeah.
just true. I'm not self-made. I'm like I said, I have other people that help make me who I am today.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. And then so we're gonna have a bunch of people asking questions for you, but me and Karina have a few of our own.
Yeah.
Um, and so we all know you, me and Karina especially, we know you as our filthy program daddy.
Yeah.
Which you always are. You always are going to be.
Yep.
What happened with the? I don't want to say what happened. That sounds kind of shitty, but the come to Jesus. The come to Jesus, because the Brandon Allen I knew wasn't really religious too much, or at least we never talked about it or anything
Yeah.
like
So
that. So
I grew up going to a Lutheran church. And then after Lutheran church, I went to Rolling Hills Covenant for 4 or 5 years. And then I actually went to a Catholic high school for 2 years, Mary Star of the Sea in San Pedro. So I studied Catholicism for 2 years. That definitely wasn't for me. I really loved the aspect of Protestant Christianity. And then just I was a fucking knucklehead, and through my 20s, I was super, super selfish. And I just didn't care, you know what I mean, about my faith or God or anything. I just really didn't care. I just cared about myself, you know what I mean? That's all there is to it. And then you hit 30, everyone says things change, and it's true. That's when like my knee fell apart and like
yeah,
so and not only that, just like your maturity and your outlook on things change. And I started realizing like, man, like I had this void in my life. I don't know what it is, but I'm missing something, and I don't feel good about myself. I was watching porn all the time. Like I just, it was just doing fucking drugs, you know what I mean, partying, and it wasn't a lifestyle that I was proud of, and
yeah,
my wife was never really religious, at least not vocally to me, you know what I mean, and either just as I wasn't really to her. I mean, we both believe in God, and that was a given. But it was, I don't know, maybe about a year ago now, where I was like, I want to go to church, and my wife was like, yeah, let's go, I'm down. So that's what we did. We started going to church. We were going to church up in North Las Vegas for a little bit. It was a Presbyterian church, not my style at all. But again, it was still cool to be back in church and singing the songs and hearing the prayers and repeating them and things like that. So I started looking up local churches here in Boulder City, and there's a Baptist church, which Baptist aligns very similar to Lutheranism. Like literally the only difference between Baptists and Lutherans, like they both follow the Martin Lutheran doctrine and stuff like that. The only difference between Baptists and Lutherans is that Baptists don't believe that you can baptize babies. They believe that you have to have a conscious mind, because that's what the Bible says in John. So we started going to the Baptist church, and fucking fell like just loved it. And our pastor was super cool. We both got baptized. My wife was baptized as a baby, but again, Baptist church, they don't believe in that. Again, I don't believe in that anymore either, from what I've learned. So we both got baptized. So I was born again, and completely turned my life around. I refuse to watch any kind of porn or anything like that. I make active, conscious decisions, like in the things we choose to watch in terms of television, and making better choices and watching more, just positive things. I used to love like horror movies and like crazy, like just scarier the better type shit. I don't watch that shit anymore. I just kind of changed my life, man. I guess you just grow up a little bit.
yeah.
It's just not for me. Like that negative, bad energy lifestyle, going to bars, getting in fights, hurting people, shit like that. Like I outgrew it. I'm like, man, so many years of my life I wasted doing the stupid shit. You know, I got a bunch of dumb tattoos, like fucking devil tattoos and shit that I'm getting all. I'm just gonna black out my whole right arm.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna black it out and then maybe I'll re-tattoo it like white over it.
That'll be cool.
Sometimes it looks pretty tight. But you know, that's a process. It's a process. So I mean, you know, like I said, I'm getting tattoos removed. People are like, why are you getting all your tattoos removed? Like, have you seen me? I'm covered in tattoos, head to toe. Like,
The
I'm not,
comments are hilarious.
yeah, I'm not getting like all my tattoos removed. I'm getting my hands, my fingers, my neck because I want to be presentable.
Yeah.
You know, and then like make a comment like, oh, I want to look, I don't want to look like a degenerate in church, and people start commenting. Church shouldn't tell you what you can and can't do. I'm like, when the fuck did I say church told me what I can and can't do? I said I don't want to look like a degenerate. It's
That's
crazy.
it.
I can understand that, you know.
It's social media though. I mean, you can't do anything without somebody talking shit or questioning you or it's just like
Right. It's like that meme, you know, like, oh, if you post you like oranges, people are like, well, why don't you like apples? Are you racist?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
You know,
you can't win.
can say something doesn't mean you should.
you
And
can't do it when you're somebody in your position to like, you know, when people followed you for a reason back in the day, right? Because you're Brandon Allen, the filthy power lifter that fucking swore, partied, and did all that. You know, you are the newer generation of what powerlifting used to be.
Sure.
You know, again, which was exactly that. I mean, look at West Side, West Side versus the World. They're talking that big redhead motherfucker. They're like, we get in fights almost every training session. I'm like, well, I've never seen Brandon fight in the gym, but going out drinking and shit, like that's definitely Brandon. Like,
Yeah.
you got those guys still following you, and why fucking not like that still? Like, well, because I'm fucking getting old, bro. The fuck?
Yeah, I know. I lose like hundreds of followers like weekly, daily. You know, I don't care because what the fuck do I care about following? And if you don't care about me enough to unfollow me when I'm doing good in my life, it's not like you're buying my programs or hiring me for coaching anyway. So what the fuck do I care? The number means nothing to me. Activity. I mean, social media is so fucking gay now.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out on Instagram. It's insane. You can watch where it all happened with the fucking during the black square bullshit, like where you know look at my analytics and watch everything just fucking tank after because I'm being suppressed, you know, which is whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like I said, but this is like another reason why I'm saying like so I used to make a post and you know get 100,000 views and sell 30 t-shirts that night. Now I'm lucky to sell 30 t-shirts in a quarter. You know what I mean? It's just things have changed dramatically, and a lot of it has to do with the throttling of social media.
Yeah.
And fuck them, fuck big tech. I don't want to rely on that anymore.
Yeah.
Instagram is more fun now. I get it. I talk more shit now. I don't like playfully with my buddies. Like before, I get striked for all these things. Like you're in danger of losing your account. I'm like, take it.
Chris knows all about that.
It's weird. I so much shit things, and I'll get a mark for people that DN me. Like I didn't even send them anything. They send me something, and then I'll get a fucking notification from Instagram. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like
I get that shit too.
Yeah. So that one yet. Facebook's gay. It's all pretty gay.
Yeah.
I don't fucking like any of it. I use Facebook for family and Instagram for friends and shenanigans.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously I like Instagram to build a network and talk to my clients and see their videos and things like that, post. And, I'll probably always do it in like a little bit, but I've definitely, you can tell how much I've pulled back. My activity on social media is an eighth of what it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, these are all things that are leading to me wanting to join the workforce again. And it really fucked me. You know what I mean? They're telling me I can't operate my business, but I still have to pay my mortgage. So I ended up closing my North gym and moving it into my garage. So I train my clients here out of the house, which is honestly a huge relief. Like to have that freedom of having the gym in the house, like working out 3 times a day. So people are like, oh my God, how are you going to the gym 3 times a day? I'm like, well, I literally am in my boxers and I go in the gym and do a 30-minute pronation workout and an hour powerlifting workout and then a 30-minute grip workout. It's all here at home. I'm not wasting any time going back and forth. You know what I mean? I work out and then I come in and I eat my meals immediately. Like there's nothing been better for my health and my recovery than having the home gym. And then my big gym by the airport, I was like venting to a buddy about it, about just eating that fucking payment every month, and like, dude, this is crazy. Like half my gym members are terrified to leave their house because the fucking media is fucking lying.
God, it was so upsetting.
Other ones are snitching on me, calling the state that I'm trying to operate my business. Like it was a rough time, man. It was fucking awful. And mind you, this is like fresh after my knee incident, my incident. Like
that's right. Yeah.
Depressed, man. I was super depressed. And then so venting about it to buddy, my buddy was like, who is very financially capable, was like, hey, I'll buy your gym. I'm like, done, deal. So and now that gym is called Sin City Iron. My buddy Eric Asarian, how do you say his name? Asatrian, excuse me. It's Armenian, it's hard for me to say. But my buddy Eric bought the gym, and then he's invested way more money than I ever could have dreamed of into the gym. And then Stan Efferding recently just bought in as a partner as well. So the gym's owned by Eric and Stan Efferding. They've really took that gym to a really cool commercial gym that makes money. And that's not what my gym was. My gym was a powerlifting gym that broke even and made a little bit of money. And it gave me a place to make money at. Yeah. But again, it's that's not that was cool when I was competing. That made sense when I was competing. When I'm not competing, that doesn't make sense. So
yeah,
I was lucky to get out of it with no debt. Then we just fucking, me and my wife we moved to Boulder City like 4.5 years ago, or a little over 4 years ago, right?
Damn.
Yeah. 2019. So coming up on 4 years. Yeah, 3.5 years ago.
okay, yeah,
Or a little over, coming up on 4 years. And best decision we ever made. We should have moved here 10 years ago. This is the coolest little city. We're about 30
I love
miles.
it.
Yeah. So we got, we have one stoplight in our entire town. It's all open BLM land desert all around you for all the riding. You can do shooting right outside that, you know what I mean? And then we have a range of a mile and a half from my house. Like it's an awesome little town. We have it's only mom and pop shops, restaurants, bars, dive bars, things like that. There's no commercial finance or franchisees like down in the Main Dragon, things like that. So yeah, it's an awesome town. You guys have been here, you know what it is.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I love coming down.
Right, it's the best place to live, to make Las Vegas money, but not live in Las Vegas, right?
Hi, yeah, I'm talking to Chief Quads right now, dude.
Hey, buddy.
And Brandon. Oh, say hi. Say hi. That's Daddy's coach. That's Daddy's coach. Yeah, Daddy's got his headphones on. You can put yours on if you want. Chief Quads will pop up in a second, I think. We're talking to Daddy's coach and Chief Quads.
Hi, Alec.
Go fuck with Daddy. Say go. Yeah, go with Mama, okay? Go with Mama. Daddy's have to give me a kiss. Go. Yeah, say hi. Give me a kiss and go.
Bye, buddy.
All right, good. Thanks for the podcast.
All right, we got a few fan questions for you, Brandon.
Sure.
All right, someone said, did you ever think you would coach someone to be one of the strongest in the world?
I'm very fortunate that I met you, Karina, because you are obviously my star athlete. Before you was Foster Parnell. Foster was someone who I definitely knew had potential to take it to the next level. Foster's a family man, and he started his own electric business, and just powerlifting wasn't in the cards for him. He definitely had the genetic potential, the work ethic, and the drive to do it. And then when you and I linked up, it was like the numbers were just getting crazy. I'm like, dude, like when I would write your programs, I would have to double check. I'm like, hey, is this right? Like I'm having her squat this for 10 reps. Like that isn't shit. And then you fucking blast it. You know what I mean? So you're definitely one of my favorites. You're the easiest client I have. And you're my friend. So it makes it, makes it work. So, Chris, you're not bad either. I'm just saying,
I've got a 1565 total. I'm an average power lifter.
Yeah, Karina's a world champion, so it's levels to it, right? And it's crazy, man. I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for you, and I'm excited to help you in any way I can, and to watch you take this sport as far as you possibly can. And I'm helping you make smarter decisions that I didn't make to help ensure you a little more longevity than I had.
Yeah. I can tell you've changed from when you first started coaching me, where it would be like, push through, you'll be fine. And now I'm like, bro, like I pinched a nerve in my neck. And you're like, it's
I'm like, all
cool.
right, let's pull back.
Yeah. And you're like, it's cool, be
Don't be a
patient.
pussy.
And I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Well, I don't want you to get hurt. And like
No, I
before
know.
I was coaching you with my mentality of how I train, I didn't care about what do you mean getting hurt? If it's attached to the fucking bone, we're lifting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's probably why I fell apart.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you not do that.
No, I appreciate it. But we have a good like communication where I'll be like, look, this is fucked up this week. Like I need another couple days to get my fucking knee together, my neck or whatever. And you're like, and
Yeah.
you know I'm not out fucking around.
No, you only complained to me one time ever. You bitched at me about something, and I just ignored you. I read it, ignore, and then later on that night, you text me back like, "Hey, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "It's all good." I was like, "I know you just use fucking time," and you've never complained about anything ever since that time.
I remember you didn't reply, and I was like, I fucked up. I fucked up. Oh my God. And then I was sitting in the gym and I was bitching about my bicep tendons. It was before we switched my squat stance to be wider.
Right.
And I was like, I'm just going to fucking do it. I'm just going to cry between the fucking sets. And I text you back and I was like, I'm sorry. I did all the reps. Like I was being a bitch. I was a pussy. Like it's never going to happen again. And I remember feeling like, oh, Brandon thinks I'm a fucking bitch. Like never again. And it was like,
I knew you were just having a weak mental moment and that you were going to get out of it because I'd been there.
yeah.
Shut him up. There's been plenty of times where I've had those moments where I'm training and my elbows are so inflamed. I'm like, I can't do these squats, like, and it hurts. But you think I'm ruthless? That you haven't talked to Chad Wesley Smith.
That is fucking worse.
Chad doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care if your elbows hurt. Fucking you're squatting. Who cares? I'm like,
Yep.
oh shit.
Yep.
Do it. You know what I mean? And then
Yep.
I just carry mentality on, and again, I learned there's probably a better way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that we found a good medium where we I push you hard,
Yeah.
but not to the point of breaking. And then when we listen to your body, when things don't feel great, pull back. You know what I mean? Like, it's smarter that way. Like, I'd rather you like not get as strong as this crazy strength, but then minimize significantly your risk of injury. Like when you start pushing that upward echelon, like the risk versus reward's not really there. Like you're risking way more for very little reward, you know, or you pull that back and lose very little, but your risk goes way down.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
And
like
I've learned that, and I'm good with that. That's why I was like, let's take this long off season, and because I'm tired of coming up short for these all-time world records. Like they're right there.
And that's exactly what I did. I knocked on the door of all of them and never
and I don't want that.
Right. Yeah. I don't want that for you either. I want you to get it, you know, and we definitely need that 402 bench.
Yeah. Yeah. And a 617 squat.
Yep. Yep.
So,
we worked way too hard there not to get them. So
yeah.
The squat's happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not worried. All right. Here's another question. Top 3 favorite guns.
FN Scar 17 heavy. That's my favorite gun that I own in terms of rifles. Henry lever action 4570, and then we'll throw a pistol in there. It's actually a pistol I don't own yet. FNX 45 tactical.
That one fucks.
Yeah, my dad has one, so it's kind of hard for me to buy one because I basically have access to it whenever I want. And then obviously like all my dad's guns will get like I'll inherit them eventually. Yeah. I'm like, maybe I need 2 FNXs, maybe 2. Also,
his and hers.
You do FNXs.
Maybe I'll get the Desert Tan, the FDE one. So you know what I mean, but yeah, or probably the first pistol that I've ever legally bought, allegedly, was Emperor. It was a Sig Slaughter Emperor Scorpion 1911, and
those are sick too.
All I've ever bought, and that's like the gun that me and my wife both shoot naturally very, very well. Like Jenny does. We right now we both do minimal training.
Yeah.
Ammo costs and everything. COVID kind of fucked things up. But again, that's no excuse because ammo prices are almost back to normal now. So we need to get on it. But the 1911, the angle of it's a 19-degree angle, and it just shoots so naturally for people without training. And that Jenny could fucking plank at 30 yards, you know what I mean, hitting steel all day.
Hell yeah.
And it just shows on how easy that gun is. Where you can grab the FN, and it's going to take you a minute to get adjusted to the angle. It's a 22-degree angle, a little different. Like actually, no, an FN's a 17-degree, and a Glock's a 22. So
22 was a Glock, yeah.
I hate Glocks. I don't shoot. I shoot Glocks over the top, just high all
I
day.
shot my Glock like shit. I sold it and got a M18, a Sig M18.
Oh yeah. Again, I'm on a strict no sell gun policy. So I would never sell anything. I keep everything.
I traded it to get my Sig M18 instead, but
I'll just wait till I can afford to buy another one, because these pocket rockets might be unavailable someday, and maybe even in our lifetime. Who knows? So again, hang on as many as I can. It's better than buying gold. You buy a $1,700 pistol that can be worth $3,000 in as short as 3 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And depending on what kind of bullshit laws they fucking push through, it could be worth even more. So,
Yeah. True.
when you get them now, you're grandfathered in, so you got to keep them.
Yeah. True.
that's weird.
Right.
It's not like I'm gonna fucking listen anyways.
I can't buy them. It was just do it the way I used to buy them when I was young. I just go buy them illegally on the street.
Right.
Have to turn
Allegedly.
illegal.
Allegedly, I read about this.
All right, we'll do one more question because we're pushing the time here.
Yep.
What did it take to go from a 700, 800, 900 to 1,000 squat?
So you have to be extremely selfish. Everything has to be about you and your meals and your rest. I would say the biggest thing of me from getting to that upper echelon that people underestimate is what I wasn't doing. Like, I didn't do shit. I slept, or barely, trained, and that's all I did. And I would relax all day long. I wouldn't go for walking here, go do that. I didn't go snowboarding. I didn't go to the desert. I didn't go riding. I didn't do absolutely anything other than train, sleep, and eat. It's a very selfish lifestyle. And I'm very fortunate that my wife was as badass as she is and pushed through and stuck with me through all those years, those selfish years. And I definitely try to make it up to her now, and make sure we are able to do a lot more fun things. But yeah, I would say the difference between all of them would be I started resting more and more and more and more. It's literally, I would say, the biggest difference.
There it is. Rest.
Rest is huge, man. Sleep's everything, guys. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Makes 8 to 10 hours a night. He's got people that say, "Oh, I only need 6 hours." There's like 3% of the world population that needs 6 hours or less of sleep. It's such a small amount.
No, I can't do 6. I get 7.5 or so every night, and that's pretty good for me. 7 to 8, I'm happy. 6, I fucking hate.
Yeah.
I'm miserable on 6.
9's the sweet number. If I get 9, I'm like, fuck, I feel good.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I slept 9 hours. I don't think my body just doesn't do it anymore. It won't sleep 9 hours.
Well, so it just depends on what time I go to bed, because as soon as the sun's up, I'm up. So if I go to bed at a decent hour, then I'll get those 9 hours, sometimes 10.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's closer 7.5, 7:45 before I wake up and pee. And then that's usually at like 4:30. And then depending on what day of the week it is with my clients who come here to the house, we get up, at like 5:30. You know what I mean? Jenny usually gets up at 5 and goes in the gym, works out, and I get up at 5:30 and then walk the dogs and do all that noise. So again, we have to make sure we're in bed, you know what I mean, by 8:30, 9 o'clock. We want to get all the hours in. And sometimes we go to bed much earlier. There's been plenty of times where it's like 7:30 and I look over at Jenny, I turn the TV off, and she looks at me. I'm like, "You want to go to bed?" She's like, "Yep."
Damn. I'm leaving the gym at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
The sun's down. Like,
yeah.
Like, put it this way, I've never in my life gotten in any kind of trouble when the sun's up, ever in my life. The sun's down is when all the mischief happens and all the bad decisions.
Yeah.
I don't ever go out. I don't have these issues. There's nothing to happen. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at now at this stage of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I literally won't leave the house to even go eat.
That's fucking smart though. That's the way to fucking do it.
One cheat meal a week, and that's either smoked barbecue or sushi.
Yeah.
I pulled out the Chinese right now just because of the deficit. And Chinese is not going to put me in a deficit. That can spike my whole week. So it's kind of where I'm at currently. If I seem loopy, it's because I'm eating no carbs.
Yeah.
I'm suffering.
Hannah sent me your post and she's like, "Oh my God, did you see his macros?" And I was like, "Hold on." So I'm looking through the comments and I'm like,
It's wild.
I would die. I'm at like just under 400 carbs a day right now. And I'm like, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I might be eating a little more than 90 grams of fat, but it's very close in that range.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Are you like keto almost right now?
Oh, I would assume I'm in ketosis. It's not like a goal of mine or anything like that, but I don't eat sugar and I don't.
No, what are your carbs right now? What are you cutting?
Like 16.
Oh, fuck that. Jesus Christ.
And that's like just me giving a little leeway because I know there's a slight amount of carbs in beans and I'm eating a lot of beans.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. So you're eating fucking zero. You're going to have that.
Yeah, and then I have I have low carb tortillas with my breakfast, which are 4 grams a piece. And I have 3 of those and then a little bit of beans throughout the day. So 16-ish, maybe 20.
Oh, God damn. God, I fucking hate my life. I remember doing that shit fight and I'm never going to do it again.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's brutal. We'll see though on how this weight cut goes. If this goes super easy and I'm like, oh, I could have dropped to 220, maybe I'll stay around 250, 255, and then cut to 300 or 232, especially if I'm competing at 242. I can go at 255 even and cut to 240, no problem. And I have to starve myself like I have. Because I'd be lying that I said I was comfortable.
You can do 10. You're big enough. You can do 10 pounds without even fucking water loading.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty confident I could too. But again,
it's miserable.
First time doing it, so I want to. I'd rather over than undershoot.
No, you're doing it right, as you should. No, the wrestling way is, fuck it, I got 10 pounds. I'm not going to prepare. I'm just going to go miserable in the fucking sauna until I lose 10. I've done it. It's not smart. It fucking works, though. You can do it. The best way is to water load and fucking do it right, so you piss out most of your weight.
So much easier, and it's easier on your body, and it will ensure better performance the next day.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Past my bedtime. It is.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Anyone you want to plug?
Thank you for coming.
No, I just want to, I appreciate you guys for having me on. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this for us.
Yeah, of course. If you guys are on Instagram, Brandon Allen Filthy Power. My YouTube channel is Brandon Allen Filthy Power. I have a live show every Monday night and every Tuesday night on my YouTube channel. You can interact in the chat with me on Mondays. Tuesday, we do guest type of thing. And then I do a lot of podcasts. I never turn down a podcast. People will ask me, young kids that have a little podcast, and I'll go on any of them just because I remember when like I was coming up or like looking at guys like Brandon Lilly and just like the top guys and like, man, it would have been such an honor to have them on my podcast, right? And never asked. I was too scared, right? And then now it's when they ask me, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. They're like, oh shit, really? Like that's awesome. Dude, let's go.
Hell yeah.
And then there's that. And then if you guys are interested in any of my coaching, by all means, shoot me a message on Instagram if you want custom personalized coaching by me. If you want to buy some templates, pre-made templates that are more affordable and kind of made for the general audience type of training, check them out at filthypowerindustries.com. You can also buy Filthy Power merchandise there: hats, t-shirts, tank tops, stuff like that. So again, guys, thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
See you Saturday.
We're gonna see you Saturday. We're gonna both be down there fucking cheering your ass on. So let's go.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks, big dog.
Bye.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah.